everybody. Welcome to Superhero with a Cane podcast number 7. We took a week off last week. It was clinical trial week, so I spent many days at the hospital with between MRIs, infusion, and cognitive tests, and peg tests, and walking tests. And, it was just an MS sucky week. That's it, pretty much it. So today, what I want to talk about is something that we've all experienced is other people's reactions. Uh, Other people's reactions to us when we're diagnosed with MS, other people's reactions to us living with MS, and I'll start with something that recently happened. I'm I'm going to take how I am now. Um, I ran into somebody I knew from a million years ago, back in my 20s, let's say. Um, I probably had seen this person again, maybe 15 years ago. But anyway, I ran into somebody. I was going into Dunkin' Donuts, and they were leaving, and he looked at me, and I knew it was him. And he looked at me, and it took him a few seconds to realize it was me. I, obviously I'm older. I look different, but MS has not done anything for me when it comes to how I walk. I look like pretty. It's like the Caesar parting when I come walking and everybody's running to open the door. And so I've got my cane or a walker. So this person saw me and he looked at me and the look on his face was like he saw a ghost, and I almost just kind of laughed because I'm like, holy crap, because he rubbed me back when I was younger, in good shape, and up to no good. And when he saw me, I was a much different person than he knew years ago. So yeah, that's me. That's me now. I'm people see me, they run into open doors and help me out, which is awesome that people actually recognize that. A little scary when I think back about how I used to be, but so other people's reactions when we get MS. People. It's funny because a lot that I see on social media are people saying, whether it's family or friends, giving the old, you don't look sick, um, and that's a common theme. Is that you get, there's underlying issues going on, whether it's cognitive or vision or who knows what, um, but you don't look sick. There are issues, nervous system issues, brain issues, um, and with their, snow MS being the snowflake disease, where everyone's issues are different. You just never know what somebody's going through. But yeah, I never had anybody say to me, you don't look sick, which is odd because I see that on social media all the time, and I just never ran into it. So um, I do want to back up to, probably let's say 11 years ago when I was experienced symptoms and was going through misdiagnosis, and then finally did get diagnosed. It was a different experience. I mean, I was not using a mobility aid. I did not have a cane or a walker at the time. I, I was still working or trying to work. I was struggling. I was in sales in the heat and air conditioning business for many years, and I was struggling and couldn't understand why. But I remember, I go with my notes. I'm sorry. I was having so many issues that I left. I thought that leaving my employer would make sense. I talked about my issues because I was told this by doctors. The issues were all stress related. I was working too much. I needed to change of pace. So I thought that maybe leaving my employer and going somewhere else would make sense. So I ended up working for this company that I was going to run their whole division. I was very good at that. I'd done it in the past. I could set up installation departments and salespeople and go run sales myself and train people. I was very good at that. And so I had this person invested in hiring me because I was going to come into his company and be the savior, right? The guy with MS was going to be the savior. So at the time, I didn't know I had MS, but it was I was struggling. I was falling down, falling asleep. It was the first time I ended up in the hospital for a few days, just as I had gotten hired here. But then I bounced back and I was able to work um, for almost a year. But I was struggling. I was falling down. I'm falling asleep. I'm just having a tough time. So when I officially got diagnosed with MS, and I went into I had to explain to the my employer what had happened. It was such a bizarre experience because he said all the right things uh, about we're going to get through this, take care of me, and we'll work with you. And he said all the right things, but then he proceeded to dismantle everything that I had put in place. Uh, he fired installers, he fired installation managers, he fired salespeople. He did zero marketing or support for the department I built up, um, and he wouldn't talk about it. And then I guess that's as a business owner, maybe you have to protect things, but it was the complete. He said one thing and did the other, and it was just a miserable experience for me. Um, he even cut my salary at one point. Uh, cut my salary and made it so that way, the way that I made my living was going to be, off of commissions and um, made it so that way, I didn't have anyone there to sell. I didn't have installation departments or salespeople. I didn't have anything to sell because he had cut all these people out. So my avenue to make money for my family was going away. And as this was going away, my symptoms were creeping in, and I was getting worse and worse. This is where I was falling a lot, getting into accidents, car accidents, and um, I guess I listen. I'll say it. I'm not going to say his name, but he was a complete jerk off, douchebag. This guy was not a good guy, and he did not take care of me. He made my life miserable. He made my life a living hell. Made it so difficult for me to get through what I had to get through. Um, and many of you, we're talking about other people's reactions. Many of you are trying to figure out. Um, you got diagnosed with this disease. What's next? How are you going to support yourself? How long can you work? How are you going to help your family? And those are all the questions that were going through my head. Like, what am I going to do now? Because I don't know how this disease is going to affect me as my day to day goes on and trying to work. Um, this person said one thing and did another. Uh, and this is at the point where I mentioned it, podcasts ago, but everybody wants to when you get diagnosed, they want you to talk to somebody. All my brothers, uncles, sisters, friends, husband has MS. You should talk to him. Okay, let's talk. I remember this person. I talked to this person, and his issues were none of mine. He talked about his fatigue, but he talked about taking a nap for an hour during the day and feeling so much better, and he could finish his day. And he was working from home and on the computer, and that just had nothing to do with me. And that was not me or my disease. I remember listening, going, "Well, this isn't my disease. Like I don't know what you're yeah, I don't know what you have. I don't know how you're diagnosed, but it's not what I'm experiencing." And that's what goes back to MS is a very individual disease. Everybody's symptoms are different. Um, So other people's reactions, yeah, I guess people want to help. I just want to say that my family was I say my family. My family. I talk about my wife, my kids, and my wife's family. Um, I do have family. I do have some family left. My mother and father are still around. They're not. Mom's in a nursing home, and dad goes down and sees her every day, and he's older, and my aunt's still around. But I lost my brother. I don't have a lot a lot of family support. I have nieces and nephews, and I love them to death. Nikki and Danny and Janine, my sister-in-law. Um, but it's just very different. But the support I got from my family was tremendous. Um, Sometimes friends, it's become difficult anyway as you get older. When you get older, you have family, uh, you have kids, so you lose touch with people. So that happens anyway. I think that when you have a disease like this, um, it's very difficult. You lose touch because you're just not out there as much. A lot of people, they want to. People want to go out to dinner. They want to go have drinks. They want to go have a good time and go to shows and go experience life, which you should. And you just lose contact with people. So I don't want to blame it on MS, but I know it's worse when you have a disease. Um, so getting back to the original issue with other people's reactions and work, uh, I do remember, there was I had an associate I knew for years that I had another avenue of we some type of networking thing where we were able to make money, and he heard I had MS and he wanted to get together and talk, and but the talk all revolved around me being involved in his networking thing and how this could be an avenue to make money. And I think um, I really do think he was trying to help, but I remember just sitting there and I just my concern was how am I gonna what do I even know is gonna happen in a year with me physically? How am I gonna survive? And this person's talking about me getting involved in a networking event and trying to learn something new, and um, it just was bizarre. Um, it kind of brought me back to I lost my brother to cancer years ago, and I remember him sitting down with me at lunch, probably about a month before he got diagnosed, telling me that he got this. He was an attorney and got this opportunity to. Somebody offered him an opportunity to go teach a law class, and I was like, "My God, that's incredible! You're gonna go do it." And he had no interest in doing it, and a month later he got diagnosed with cancer. And I kind of felt the same thing when I was sitting down with this person. So here he is offering me an opportunity, and I know maybe he thinks he's doing well by me, but I just had no, I just couldn't wrap my arms around it, or even my head around it. I just was so consumed with, what's my life going to be like in a year, 5 years. Um, I was just struggling at that time. So anyway, um, where do we where do we go from here? Other people's reactions. You're going to see things change. Um, People aren't going to know what to say at times. It's okay. Uh, I don't know what to say half the time, but people don't know what to say to you. It's just people are not. I'm. It took me years of misdiagnosis um, and seeing my disease drastically progress and faster than I wanted it to. Um, and affect me cognitively and physically, um, and I don't know how to react half the time. So other people's reactions when they see me, or they see me now, I told you they probably are running uh, to get out of the way. But hearing that you've got diagnosed and that you're going through this, um, people don't know what to say, and you can't blame them. People just don't know what to say. What are you supposed to say? I mean, the people that love you and your family and your true close friends will step up and be involved in your life no matter what. Um, Other people don't. Other people disappear. And that's okay. So don't worry. If you'll expand your world, um, you can do that even with MS. I've learned to do that. Uh, I've learned to open up my world to the MS community. I've made many new friends that I'm able to share my life with on a regular basis. And the ones that can't be involved, I don't, no hard feelings. When I love you, when I see you, I'll give you a hug or a handshake or whatever. But no big deal. Um, but yeah, be okay with opening up your world. Be okay with accepting people in your MS community. Um, the people that you'll meet through. I've met people through social media, through this podcast. I'm getting comments from people in Belgium and South Africa and Australia and the UK. Um, and it's just unbelievable that I would ever have contact with somebody like that. And the thing we have in common, unfortunately, is we have MS. But it's okay. That's a good reaction. We talk about other people's reactions. That's a good reaction. Um, I don't know. I think I'm done.
All right.
Is that enough time?
Yeah.
All right. Episode 7 is out. Done.